What's up, everybody? We're a little early today with our weekly Q&A, but babies are asleep. And I don't know if any of you guys out there have children, young children, but when babies are asleep, you gotta get shit done. So I don't necessarily have anything to offer you guys this week. Let's just jump right into some questions, and hopefully you guys are having some big successes this week. I know the world's a little bit crazy right now, and I think it's only going to get crazier in 2021. But I love seeing you guys win against all odds. It's really amazing. So this was kind of a one I spoke with Ivan privately, but I thought you guys would all benefit from it. Huge question. What has been your most effective prospecting method for gaining clients for your services online? I've had local clients in the past, but right now I've been prospecting online, but I can't even schedule one call. I've been doing more than 100 outreach messages and LinkedIn automations every day. I have had really good previous results and have a really good team with me, but I don't know. Is it doing paid ads, doing a message outreach? What has been your experience with this? So, Ivan, we mentioned this privately. You're sending 100 messages a day, right? And nobody is responding and you're not booking any calls, right? So that is life telling you that whatever you're offering in that one message is not working. And I'll tell you what more than likely the case is. It's a little something called I've heard that before. So I'll give you an example, right? Like I used to do a lot with SEO, and it was at one time it was my bread and butter. I made like 95% of my money doing SEO. I don't now. I love running customer campaigns. They're way easier. Um, but when I did a lot of SEO, I used to buy a lot of backlinks, and I'm still on a lot of mailing list for backlinks. So a lot of people like just cold outreach me, whether I ask for it or not. I get pitched like backlink packages in my email pretty regularly. And I'll tell you who has it really, really rough is the 101st person who offers me backlinks. And they may actually have the best backlinks of the bunch, but by then I've seen the same message like so many times that it starts working against you. So more than likely what's happening is you're falling in I've heard that before. And I've heard that before is pretty much the hardest thing to sell to humans. So one of the things you can do is find a way to make that new and exciting. Now, we spoke privately, and I know you're offering leads for medical spas, and having worked with medical spas, I understand that niche a little better than most. Um, so when you're like generating leads for a medical spa, like it's also important to understand that like for them, not all leads are equal. So to give you an example in the lawyer space, some lawyers deal with um, like traffic tickets, and when they get somebody in the door for a traffic ticket, they might make $100 off that person. Some lawyers deal with something called class action lawsuits. They call them mass torts in the industry. And those tend to be like 10, 20, even $100 million cases where they sue a big like drug company with hundreds of people that are claiming damages. So like imagine like thalidomide, like there's all those babies injured with thalidomide. They sue the drug company, do this big lawsuit. It's a $10 million lawsuit, right? Those leads are not going to be equal. So when you're in the like, and I saw your message, you're offering 57 leads. There's a huge difference between selling traffic tickets and selling mass torts cases. So one of the things you can do to make it new and exciting is just specialize in the kind of leads you're generating. But as long as you're the 101st person showing, offering, hey, we got leads for you, you're just going to have a hard time, no matter, even if your shit's good. So what I would suggest is switch that up in a big, big way. So, yeah, like I mentioned, the 101st person selling backlinks in my inbox just has a really, really hard time because they're coming before a massive amount of shit. So a lot of times in this, there's a flaw in your question that assumes that there's a way that works, meaning like cold outreach works or direct messages or in person. But what happens is when your offer works, what you'll find is you can go into a networking meeting and people will hire you. You can go speak, people will hire you. You can run an ad, people will hire you. You can send a cold message and people will hire you. You can post in a group and people will hire you. But that's because people are people everywhere. So you got to understand the offer part of it. So what you are offering is, hey, I can get you some more leads, and there's just way too many people doing that. So they're putting you in a box called "I've heard that before," and you're going to have a really uphill climb with that. So that's where you got to find some new ground to stand out. Tom, how much churn do you see in a 12-month period? Tom, if you're an average agency owner, churn is like, for those of you not familiar with that term, is like people leaving and then you have to replace them. So if you have a client, they stay 3 months, and then you got to get another one, and they stay 3 months, and then you get another client, they stay 3 months, and there's a period where you haven't replaced them. That's like your average churn is 3 months in that case. And that's pretty typical, by the way. Most agencies are in the 3 to 6 month range. I would say ours is much, much more typical. So I have clients that have been with me for more than a decade. It really, and I'll tell you the real benefit of why you want to set your agency up like that, because you don't have to start over every month, right? Like if your clients are only staying 3 months, then what happens is every 3 months you're hustling and you're selling. Like I could coast for a long time. And that's where you want to be in your agency, where you could coast with the clients you got. You don't want to coast, right? Like, I mean, I know you guys are all about growth and making shit happen. But you want to get to a point where you can coast, because eliminating churn. I'll tell you the biggest two things that make a difference. One is having something unique where they can't just easily get it from somewhere else. You won't be continuously replaced if you're unique. And then two is like getting good at setting and exceeding expectations. And I could write a whole book on that. I did actually. But the more you can like make them feel cool and appreciated, the easier it's going to be for you. Josh, does anyone know of any call redirect numbers that when our leads call the number provided, it goes through to our client and lets them know the number calling is a lead from our company? Thanks in advance. Josh, most of the call forwarding services can do that. I use one called CallFire. I use them for different things, not necessarily like generating local leads, but there's a feature called Call Whisper, and it lets you put in a tiny pre-recorded message. So when it transfers, it'll say, call received from Frankie Finn, or call received from such and such agency. And it lets them know that that's your work at hand. So if you want to do that, the feature you're looking for is called Call Whisper. Sebastian, anybody struggling with no-shows from book calls? I'm texting them, calling them, and emailing them, and no one shows. So this is two issues, Josh. One is again, you probably what you're offering is not unique enough, so they don't see you as very high on the priority ladder. Like when you have something really unique and valuable for a client, they don't skip meetings with you. It's more than likely you're just the leads guy and they put you in that box. But there's another thing you could do, which is to when somebody agrees to book a call with you and then afterwards there's some kind of delay, like often, like I would get this with lawyers where sometimes they would book a call with me for 3 weeks out when they were finished some big trial. What you want to do is immediately begin your indoctrination. So right after they book, put as much of like the proof that you can do what you do. So I used to have a whole page that had just like, here's a list of all the people who said the call was valuable. Here's all the people who've worked with us. And it was just basically like a massive social proof page. So right after they book the appointment, now they see what this appointment can do for them. If you do that, you can get a massive amount of benefit. I'll tell you another thing. This is a real secret that helped us a lot. There's a plugin called Zapier and another free, or a really cheap software called Slide Broadcast. And what Slide Broadcast does is it lets you call somebody's phone and then automatically get the voicemail. So it skips right through the actual calling person, leaves a voicemail. And what we used to do is have a pre-recorded message and set it up with Zapier. So when somebody booked a call, not only would they see the big social proof page, but they get a call from like one of our team personally or me personally, and it's an automated pre-recorded message that just says, hey, really excited about our call. Here's what's going to happen on the call, and here's what we're going to go over. And when you do that, what happens is there's a little bit of delay in the timeline. So when they book the call, it takes about 10 minutes between Zapier and Slide Broadcast to go from one to the other. What's up, Shelly? You'll notice I don't have a sling on today. That's kind of a big step forward for me. So anyway, but if you use Slide Broadcast, you can send this automated message, and what happens is they will get this pre-recorded message from you, and it feels like you called them personally because they get a voice note on their message on their answering machine, and more people will actually show up for calls if you do that, like significantly more. I've had it like I would say 90% is pretty typical for us show up rates, and I've had it like you where no one shows up. August. Anyone have experience selling online courses? I just created one and am struggling to get enrollments through ads. Any help would be great. Thank you. Um, so August, if you're struggling to sell your course, I'll tell you 99% likely it's the problem you solve in the course and the ultimate benefit that is like not clear and lacking. And I saw on your post that you also mentioned like it's about growing your business. See, like think about growing your business is like there's already 10,000 courses on that, and that's just way too generic. So what you want to do is get specific and pull out benefits. So like for example, I have a friend who sells courses to lawyers for getting good at answering their phone, and that's all she does. That's it. It's like here's how to do a good phone call. Here's how to not, and it's a big leverage point because they get phone calls, and local businesses are usually really bad at it. That's easy to sell because it's very clear who needs it and who doesn't. In your case, like whose business are you going to grow? It's not really clear. If you say any business, you're lying because I'll promise you. Like I've seen people who run ads that say, "Oh, I'll triple your business," but if a company's doing 100 million a year, they don't think you're going to triple the business with some AdWords. Like Microsoft Windows doesn't believe you're going to come in and triple it with an ad campaign. So a big part of it is just having a big benefit. So I would test that organically before you get into running paid ads, because if you can't find a hook for your course, then it's not just your process that's going to be broken. Andrew, who else has experiencing a very high frequency of rejected ads in the last week? I've had at least 70 ads across different ad accounts rejected for credit, crypto, discriminatory policies, and others. Would love to hear from the rest of you guys on best practices. Uh, I'm seeing this post a lot. For one, you should just understand that Facebook is fucking crazy right now. And let me tell you first the long-term solution, because I think this is far more important than the question you asked, which is anytime you're generating traffic for your offers, you want to convert that into your own list, into your own traffic that you control, your own email list, your own text messaging list, your own direct mail list. The best traffic is always traffic you control. If the Zuckerberg can put you out of business tomorrow, like your business is going to lose at some point. And I've seen this, if you do this long enough, I've done it since 2007, and I've seen people get bitch slapped so hard by a Google update they lose $1 million businesses overnight. And I've seen the same thing with ad accounts getting shut down, maybe not at that level, but the key to like not having it break you is to turn that traffic into your own audience and turn your own audience into long-term repeat consistent sales over time. And if you do that, you'll be way less dependent on the Zuck. And then the second thing is diversify into other platforms. Like don't put all your eggs in the Zuck basket right now, especially when they're unpredictable. And third is, Facebook is mostly algorithmic, and I'm not the right person to ask on this, but figure out what you're saying in your ads that are triggering the algorithm and stay the fuck away from that. I don't necessarily have the answer to that. David Schloss would be a good person to ask, or Peter Sabo. They're both in the group. They're both like run huge Facebook ad agencies, so they would know some real details on that. Jasmine, was anyone ad account disabled? I haven't heard back for over a week now. I'm not sure how to get help for this. That's Facebook, fucking crazy. I do have a script for you guys, and it's kind of in our private memories area, but if you send me a private message, I will give you the script. You're more than welcome to use it. It's not my script, actually. I should let you know. And I've never personally gotten an ad account back. I'm on my 6th one. But you may have success with it. We're finding like people who use it get their ad accounts back about 50% of the time. So give it a shot. It's worth it. You got nothing to lose at this point. But start diversifying and thinking more strategically about how you use Facebook in the first place. Last question, Josh. What do you use for screen recording videos? Loom was great, but now the free version has a 5-minute limit. Well, if you're not an internet pirate stealing software out there, Josh, I just paid Loom the $10 a month to get the unlimited package because we do a lot of screen videos here, and it was just worth it. But yeah, screen videos are like really, really useful. And actually, I'll give you a little pro tip about how to use the screen videos. So we mentioned like, I would say in an agency, 90% of the problems you have with clients are not with your work and the quality of your work. They're actually with the quality of the expectations you set about your work. So I'll give you an example, like just to conceptualize this. I remember working with this one lawyer who told me if he expected to get $15,000 in a case and he told the client, I expect to get $15,000, and he got 10, that client hated his fucking guts. They're like, my lawyer, he fucking only got me 10,000. I was supposed to get 15. And their expectations were here and what was delivered was lower, even though in actuality they were plus 10,000. Then he would say, if I promised 15,000 and we got 20, I was the greatest, smartest, most amazing lawyer ever because I'm like, wow, he told me I was supposed to get 15, but my lawyer is so good I got 20. And of course, those are both arbitrary numbers, right? Like no one knows for sure. It's just an estimate. And so what he learned was to just simply under-promise and over-deliver. To say, hey, I think I can get you 10,000. Then when he got 10,000, it was par for the course. And when he got 20, he was a genius. And there's a real wisdom in learning to do that. And what we do with our Loom videos is really all about expectation setting, which is four things. You want to let clients know what results you expect. And again, under promise here and over deliver. If you think you can get $10 leads, tell them 20. Because guess what happens when you get 10? Oh my God, you got 10. They want to know the timelines, like how long is this going to take, the cost, and you should include all costs. So there's like nothing hidden, like meaning like how much do you charge for your management? How much are you going to spend on ads? Are there any hidden fees? Is there software that they got to buy? Do they got to buy call tracking? Whatever it is, like paint the whole picture of here's everything you got to buy. And then the last one is how much and how you're going to communicate, and Loom videos are just amazing for that. You do that if you just show a client a campaign, hey, we're expecting you to get $20 leads this month. We actually got them for 10. For 30 days into this, we're way ahead of the game. And here's the costs we expect to incur next month, and you'll get a charge from Facebook for this amount. And I'm going to send you another Loom video in another 4 weeks to let you know exactly how we're doing. You do that, you'll hit your expectations and exceed them, and clients will be really stoked with it, and they love these little Loom videos. I've never found anything better software-wise for reporting to a client what you're doing than Loom videos. So I would say if you're using them enough, eat the 10 bucks and just pay for it. It's worth it. But otherwise, just make your videos less than 5 minutes and use the free version. Because you don't need to actually, most of my videos aren't longer than 5 minutes, other than talking to you guys here. But most of my videos to clients are really short and to the point. They're busy people. They don't want them long. So I think, like, how can I say this in 2 minutes? They'll love you for it. So that's all I got for you guys. There's no offer this week, but I'm going to put the replay of this on YouTube. And if you guys want to catch some of those, what I'm hoping to build, by the way, and I'm a little slow on this, but 2 kids, everything moves a little slower, 2 babies, is a little library with all the questions. And so then you can just search by whatever question you have, and then you can go to the video and watch the part that's relevant to you. So you don't have to like watch 27 hours of me rambling on. But if you have a specific issue and you want to be able to find out the answer to your question, you can just go right to the individual question and hear the answer and get what you need. So that's what I'm looking to build with that. So if you're interested in that, subscribe to YouTube. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys. Much love. I'm happy to have some mobility back in my left shoulder. Kind of amazing how fast it's healed, or it's healing. So not 100% healed, but getting better. So gonna go hang with the babies now that they're about to wake up, and much love to you guys.